wesleygospel.com. This is John with wesleygospel.com. Today I want to talk about college degrees, careers, and promotions. College degrees, getting a college degree, developing a career, and getting promoted. Okay. Uh, I want to address that biblically as best I can, and what my personal views on that are. Um, Capitalism in America teaches us that without a college degree, without a solid career derived from that college degree, and without getting promoted, you're not going to become financially successful. That this is essentially the formula for financial success and financial growth and everything you need to do, everything worth getting excited about, the summary of all ambition in life uh, is essentially boils down to a three-step program of getting a college degree, getting a career, and then getting promoted within that career. First off, that is not in the Bible. That whole idea, which American capitalist ideology pushes on people, it's not in the Bible. Um, and why am I bringing this up? Because I can't help but, when I watch stuff on Amazon Prime or whatever, these Southern New Hampshire University commercials keep coming on, where people are like, I got this degree, oh, in the mail, oh yeah, and or some gay guy cries because he gets a graphic design degree. He's like, and then people jump and they're like, yeah. Um, Let me just say that's all hype, and that's people playing people's emotions like a fiddle, and it's a racket. It's a racket. Um, uh, now that that's been said, um, uh, the graduation rate of Southern New Hampshire University is 33%. That's what Wikipedia says, Google says. But the acceptance rate is 92. So it's a diploma mill, essentially. But in any case, it doesn't matter. Um, I'm not saying that college degrees don't matter. I'm not saying that careers don't matter. And I'm not saying that promotions don't matter. But the idea is so deeply ingrained in American culture that, and just internationally, capitalist ideology is deeply ingrained on the idea of college educations that lead to careers and promotions within careers. And everybody's goal is centered around that. It's like their life goal. Like, if you could just do that, you're done. You've arrived, you know. Uh, Meanwhile, this vague idea, and it is a very vague idea, is never really specified to where it it really has like verifiable, confirmable guidance and direction. For example, the college degree. Which college degree? A career. Which career? Promotions. Promotion from what to what? Right? And it's always this vague, nebulous cloud, um, and there's no specificity about this idea whatsoever. They might say, well, you need to take the idea of college career promotion and do your research, and that will make the difference. Well, that might, but how is a young person supposed to know that? Furthermore, how is a parent even supposed to know that? Um, well, then they say, well, look into the job placement statistics of the school. That sounds reasonable. And they do have a career services center at most colleges. However, you have to understand that those career services people are employed by the college and can paint rose-colored glasses pictures about literally every diploma at the school. It's clear that some diplomas could lead to more profitable careers and more profitable promotions within those careers. But there needs to be third-party objective research done to confirm these facts. Suppose you spend 4 years at a university and you get a degree in English. What kind of career prospects will that usually result in? Well, you're not going to become a licensed teacher because that requires a master's degree in education and a licensure on top of the bachelor's degree. So most likely you're going to have the prospect of teaching English in, say, a Christian school for $10 an hour, or maybe a tutor for little kids who can't read. It's essentially, or it's a generic degree and you end up in sales and customer service. Again, it's $10 an hour. The research level is just simply not there to support 100% of the college degrees that are available at these diploma mill racket institutions. The same could be said for music degrees, philosophy degrees, basically all of the humanities, history, all of the arts. So you can just pretty much write most of those off. Anything that has a bachelor's of the arts is not going to be lucrative. Bachelor's of sciences generally do have more STEM degrees. Science, technology, engineering, and math tend to be more profitable because of the career goals. So if people have career goals in mind before they declare a major, and they look into the profit potential, the income potential of the career goal, and they choose that career goal job title based on how much money they're going to make from that job, now you're on the right track. So if you are going to a school, you need to be, first off, don't think you're putting the cart before the horse if you're thinking about the degree first and then the job second. It should be the other way around. You should decide first on what the job you want to do is, what the income amounts you want to get from that job, and then approach school with the objective of getting said job. And then you have to ask yourself, is promotion within that job a reasonable ambition to have? Do people generally get promoted within the job that you're thinking about? And if so, why does that matter to you? Instead of just vaguely going to college and getting any college degree that's remotely interesting to you, and seeing what happens afterwards. There are a lot of people that get college degrees, young people get college degrees because they say, quote, I just don't know what I want to do. They don't have any coaching or career guidance from their parents, but their parents saved up for them to go to college, and now it's time to get them out of the house so they can go to college. And they have no direction whatsoever. All of their professors or advisors, essentially, to tell them, any college degree is just as good as the next one. Essentially, no college degree is superior to another one because you all end up in the same place, making $10 an hour in a customer service job or a sales job, doing cold calling, or maybe if you're lucky, an accounting job. And this isn't what you planned to do, right? Because you declared a major and you said to yourself, I have no idea what I want to do. So as you're going to college or before you're going to college, it's your parents' responsibility to give you an array of job options and have talks with you multiple times, and explain to you why some jobs are better than other jobs, and really explain the world, essentially, to you, so that you can not make foolish decisions. Of course, to be able to provide career guidance to your kids, you have to show them love all the way up until this point. If you've disrespected your kids all the way up until this point, you will serve as a poor counselor to them. So misguided young people often end up in unprofitable jobs after they graduate from college because they just pick something they're interested in, like philosophy or something like I did. Um, Now, is it possible that people can experience a degree of financial success if they select a degree in, say, the STEM areas? It depends. A math degree, for example, is very limited in its scope. If you were to just get a bachelor's in mathematics, you're going to end up teaching $10 an hour job at a Christian school or being a tutor on the internet. You're not going to be it's not a lucrative degree in itself. You would have to go on further to get a master's degree and a certification to get higher pay in something. So not all the STEM degrees are good enough. You're really looking at engineering is probably the only category, or healthcare. Uh, Bachelor's degrees in either of those most likely, um, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, um, and you might say, well, a general business degree might help, like a BS in business. But even then, it's still, you've got to really look. What are profitable careers? Let's take a look. The most profitable, lucrative careers. If we're looking at careerism for a moment, let's take a look at U.S. News and World Report. They're generally pretty accurate about things. Best paying jobs, okay? Anesthesiologist, 200K a year. Oral surgeon, 200K a year. Both require doctorates. Obstetrician and gynecologist, 200K a year, requires a doctorate. Surgeon, 200K a year, doctorate. Orthodontist, 200K a year, doctorate. Physician, 200K a year, doctorate. Psychiatrist, 200K a year, doctorate. Anesthesiologist nurse, 200K a year, master's degree. Pediatrician, 200K a year, doctorate. Pilot, airplane pilot, a little over 100K a year. Dentist, 160K a year, doctorate. IT manager, 159K a year, bachelor's degree. Finally, we have the first bachelor's degree where we're earning about as much as a doctor earns. An IT manager. Now, so let me take a look at the bachelor's degree for the IT manager, right? No information. It tells you that you need a bachelor's degree, but it doesn't tell you which bachelor's degree. Most likely computer science is my guess. Um, IT manager, bachelor's degree. It's okay. I'm sorry. It's called it's called different things, but it's called usually it's a BS in information technology. Okay, there's your degree. Okay, so that would be a lucrative bachelor's degree to get, but you have to like the job of an IT manager in order to get it. And a lot of people are just simply picky. Podiatrist, that's a foot doctor, 145K doctorate. Financial manager, 131K bachelor's degree. Okay, so finally we have the second bachelor's degree that you're earning about as much as a doctor. What is the bachelor's degree of a financial manager? This is essentially bachelor's degree in finance. So if you get a bachelor's degree in finance, or if you get a bachelor's degree in information technology, you could earn as much as a doctor after you graduate with a bachelor's degree in information technology or a bachelor's degree in finance. Ethical problem, though, with the finance degree is that you're often going to be put into a stockbroker role, which is often a very deceptive job title. Watch out. And the third bachelor's degree, and I'm going to stop right here, marketing manager. And I can tell you from my personal job experience that this is a very stable job role. I've seen this multiple times, and I've thought about possibly trying to earn a degree in this as well. A bachelor's degree in for the marketing manager position earns 135K a year. This is about as much as a doctor. What is the bachelor's degree of a marketing manager? It is a bachelor's in marketing. Okay, so if you have a bachelor's in marketing, if you have a bachelor's in information technology, or if you have a bachelor's in finance, you can make as much as a doctor getting straight out of college. That's so they say, according to U.S. News and World Report. I think that would be accurate to say that. But you have to like computers, or you have to like understanding investing processes and accounting procedures, or you have to like marketing, or learn to like them. Right? Unfortunately, this is not what popular capitalism teaches us. Popular notions of capitalism is essentially get any bachelor's degree of any type, and when you graduate, you will immediately make $50,000 a year. At least that's what I was told 20 years ago. 50,000 divided by 12 is 4,100 divided by 4 is $1,041 a week. $1,041 a week divided by 40 is $26 an hour. Immediately graduated from college with the bachelor's degree. That's $26 an hour times 40 equals $10.40 a week times 52 equals 50,000. So that is a lie. Making 50,000, making $26 an hour job immediately after graduating from college with any kind of bachelor's degree is a complete falsehood. I know not only in my own case with the philosophy degree, but in the cases of people who have had ministry degrees or a psychology degree or any other kinds of degrees, they end up working minimum wage jobs afterwards. Their dreams are shattered. Their expectations and hopes, they were misguided. And maybe even their advisors at college were misguided as well. Because the career paths do not turn out well. What happens is these people who say to themselves, I don't know what I want to do. They don't research job profitability. They get any degree that they're interested in as a hobby horse. They can, quote unquote, get good grades like they had in high school. It's a get good grades mentality. And you can't have that mentality when you go to college. You have to have the mentality of, I'm going to get a certain type of job with a certain type of income amount. That's a transition that needs to happen, because when you're in high school, the mentality has got to get good grades. And a lot of people carry this over, a lot of students carry this over into universities, and they say, well, I just got to get good grades. They're not thinking, oh, profitable job, that's more important than the grades I make. I need to get profitable job title. And then that should determine my performance, right? But this is not what's taught. This is not what's implied. Pop American ideology is any college degree will get you $26 an hour upon graduation in any situation. That is such a lie. That is a racket. It's a diploma mill ideology, and it's just simply not true. I would have to say probably 90% of the college degrees on these campuses are not going to help people achieve financial stability. It's just not, especially the humanities. I would, if it doesn't have a BS, let's just for the heck of it, the bachelor's degree in information technology. Is that a BA or a BS? I wonder. It's a BS. It's a bachelor's of the sciences. Okay. Bachelor's degree in finance. Is it BA or BS? Uh, it's kind of split between. Sometimes they call it a BA, sometimes they call it a BS in finance. But the fact that it can even be called a BS in finance does put it in the sciences. You're never going to hear about a Bachelor's of Science in philosophy. No, strictly the arts, right? Bachelor's degree in what else? What was the other thing I said? Marketing, BA or BS? What do you think? BS. So if it's not a BS, if it's a BA, it's probably not going to be lucrative. Generally speaking, that's just the way it is. Unless you're planning to go all the way into a doctorate and become some professor for the rest of your life, stay away. I would have to say stay away from the Bachelors of the Arts. If you're interested in those subjects, then buy the books on your own and read them. But don't make it a college degree and a career out of the Bachelors of the Arts. That will get you nowhere as far as lucrative is concerned. If you're going to college with the express purpose of finding a job title that will produce substantial amounts of money for you, then you need to focus on the BSs. You need to focus on the Bachelors of the Sciences. But that's not good enough. Just because it's some random BS doesn't mean you've done enough due diligence in declaring your major. You need to go to stuff like US News Report and be like, what are the top, what's the recent highest paying jobs? Okay. What are the best paying jobs? You go on Google and you look this up and you get a list and you find which is the highest paying job that only requires a bachelor's degree. Then once you get that bachelor's degree, then you can call temp agencies, recruiters, and headhunters, and they can find a company for you. That's how to properly approach the use. That's how you really use a college degree, find a profitable career. Now, what about being promoted? Honestly, I would have to say don't count on that. Because notice these people, whether it's the IT manager or the finance degree or the marketing manager, they're not like, "Oh, I can't wait to get promoted." They're talking about once I get the job, I'll be making as much as a doctor. I don't need to get promoted, right? Because the entry level position is lucrative enough to make as much as a doctor. They're set, right? So if you're thinking like, oh, if I could just get that promotion, then I'll be successful. You're probably not even in a very profitable job category if you even have to think that. If you get promoted, it's like, oh, okay, well, great. Um, rather than, your ambitions are misdirected. If you think that a promotion is your key, your end all, cure all panacea to financial success, you are gravely misguided. Promotions rarely ever happen, and if they do, it's because you've been at a company for years and years, and you might even be an extremely beautiful woman or some bro or there's fraternity or sorority and there's cussing and worldliness and people get promoted for all the wrong reasons um, usually uh, in my observation uh, so I think that if you want that college degree and that profitable career you need to keep your focus on the bachelor's of the sciences and do not declare a major unless you've gone to US News or something, the best paying jobs, et cetera, et cetera. Now, let me come back to the original question, the thesis, which I think is a racket. The idea that career, I'm sorry, college, career, and promotion, this triad of college, career, and promotion is like the end all capitalist ideology. And if you don't fall into that mold, then essentially you're screwed. You have no other options. You are in economic doom for the rest of your life till you die. You will be poor for the rest of your life. That is a lie, because the idea of college career promotion is an ideology. And the sooner you start to see it as an ideology, the sooner you'll be able to empower yourself. And really ask yourself, first off, is that idea in the Bible? And since the Bible is the foundation of all truth, we really should be looking to the Bible when it comes to declaring majors or not declaring majors or just work and employment in general. What does the Bible really teach about self? What does it teach about employment? Well, there's different kinds of people that are employed in different kinds of capacities and situations in the Bible. So it's not a simple answer. However, we can narrow down the field by looking at only at the people in the Bible that Christians are supposed to imitate. And when we do that, we can sort out all the wicked people in the Bible. They're not to be counted as examples to follow, and we can only include the saints in the Bible. And so a good working list would be the list in Hebrews 11, and then of course Jesus and the apostles in the book of Acts and Paul essentially. And what you have there is basically a list of people who put their faith in God, none of which, as far as I know, except for maybe the Apostle Paul, had any college degrees, or in Abraham. Josephus says that he taught mathematics and astronomy in Egypt. That's where he got all his money from. Curious fact. But in any case, are there college-educated people in the Bible? Not very many, no. Not in the sense that we understand it. College education usually came from either Babylon or Egypt or Greece or Rome. And not a whole lot of people in the Bible were in those areas. Usually what we're talking about is tradesmen, owners of what you would call SMBs or 1099 contractors, self-employed tradesmen like the apostles, Matthew the tax collector. Now he was an employee of Rome, but and so was Zacchaeus. But the thing is, uh, there seems to be this general pattern that the most godly people in the Bible were self-employed. Paul the tent maker, the fishermen apostles, and Jesus even construction business. I mean, this idea that that you're working for this worldly, tricky, capitalist culture is just not there with the saints of the Bible. You have this picture of men that have, in an almost Amish fashion, have pulled themselves away from mainstream business and have still managed to find work for themselves without a college degree, without trying to have this amazing career, and without trying to be ambitious and competitive to get that promotion. And, it's an issue of lifestyle. And another thing, one of the biggest things that I've read over the years was this book that was very hard to get through, but I pushed myself through it. It was called Descent on Development by P.T. Bauer. And basically what this was a very in-depth sociological study by an economist who examined third world countries and the causes of the wealth of these nations, essentially. He inquired into the nature of the causes of the wealth of these third world nations. He examined them over time, like Japan, for example. They used to be a third world country. But somewhere along the way, after World War II, they developed business relationships with the Americans and became a capitalist country. He examines them and a couple other formerly third world countries. It basically says that working, saving, and investing are the causes of financial growth. And if you go back and look at the Puritans, they say the same thing. They say diligence and thrift equals financial growth. Working, Proverbs 10:4, the hand of the diligent maketh rich. Saving, he that saves money little by little makes it grow. And investing, ship your grain across the sea, for after many days it may receive a return. Ecclesiastes 11:1-2. And then also doubling your job intake. as an independent, self-employed person. So in uh, Ecclesiastes 4:9, it says two have a better return for their labor. And then investing, you have it also with Jesus as well, not just with Solomon and Ecclesiastes 11:1 and 2, but also with Jesus. The investing practice continues. As a self-employed construction worker, Jesus knew that you could also invest, although it was usually the rich that invested in his day, but it was there. The idea of making 10 times your money from a stock is in Luke 19:16. None of this involves a college degree. None of this involves having this amazing career that's competitive and lucrative. And none of this involves getting promoted. Might I add that the competitive, lucrative career in which you are trying to get promoted is usually a dog-eat-dog, wolf pack environment filled with F words, cuss words, Machiavellianism, self-interest, competition, deception, cruelty, and greedy people who are arrogant about their knowledge. Is that something you want to be involved in? Really? I mean, if you want to really get involved in that, do you know that that's what it's like? Because that's what it's like. It's a pretty miserable environment, actually. Here you are thinking, oh, wow, I want to make as much as a doctor. Yeah, but you're not considering about all the other things, what the work culture is going to be like. Unless you can work at home, this is what I have to say. Unless you can actually, with that job, work at home eventually, permanently, don't do it. I would have to say, don't do it. Because your bank account might look great, but it will be so bittersweet. It will be more bitter than it will be sweet. And you will be emotionally knotted up. And you will not be successful in that sense. What does it profit a man if he gains the whole world but he loses his soul? What does it profit a man if he were to become a multi-trillionaire but lose the emotional and attitudinal parts of his personality? What does it profit a man if he loses his soul, he loses his salvation, loses the Spirit of God, goes to hell afterwards? But not only that, in this life too, loses his personality. What does it profit a man if you become a multi-trillionaire and lose his personality? Right? What does it profit a man if you become an atheist and become a multi-trillionaire atheist like Warren Buffett or Elon Musk, but you lose your personality, you lose your spirituality, you lose your faith? What does it profit? Nothing. You got income amounts, but you got nothing else. Like nothing else to ride on. College degree, career, promotions. Why promotions? Well, because you can get more income. Yeah, but what about all the other stuff? You're not going to be respected. It's competitive. What are the other guys around the office that wanted that promotion? Now you're in an environment of competition. Did you ever think about that first before you went down that pathway? What it would actually be like? God bless you out there. This is John with WesleyGospel.com.